Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I am really excited to present my special guest. Composer Kristen Allred is with us. Kristen's piece on the new Federation Festivals list is Prowling Panther from her book, Jungle Beat. Welcome, Kristen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
So this piece is really fun and really cool. It sounds kind of menacing and growling. You can just hear that panther prowling through the jungle. I thought it was so much fun. It also does a great job exploring a wide range of dynamics at the piano and a wide range of frequencies and pitches at the piano. Talk to us a little bit about how you composed Prowling Panther.
So like you say, it explores the keyboard a lot, and that's something that I do with most all of my pieces. I try to get my students all over the piano as much as possible. But when they're little kids with their little hands and they're just learning, you've got to do it in a careful way. So it's generally, you'll take a pattern and use that same pattern going up or down. So that makes it a little bit easier for them to explore the keyboard. And I also like to have really engaging titles. So most of the titles of my pieces are something that you can have a whole conversation with your piano student about. So like you can talk about panthers, and then you can talk about, just like you're saying, how it's like sneaking through the jungle, and the piece kind of builds and builds until you get to the very last note. It sounds like the panther found some prey and it's just pouncing. And you have that very loud last note where it's exploring the piano and you're coming down. And so you can talk to the student about how, oh, it got that, whatever it was chasing. Maybe they can, visualize in their head what they think it might be that it caught. And you can talk about that last note, how it's a sforzando, and you want to get a really loud sound. So you're not going to just use your fingers, but you're going to use your whole arm, maybe a little bit of your body. You're going to want to talk about it's in E minor, which they may just know. You could teach the 5-finger pattern. And if they know that 5-finger pattern, that's really where the melody is in a lot of this piece, is that so, teach them an E minor 5-finger pattern and show them that's what the whole melody is based on. And then tying in composing, like what can they compose on that same pattern? See if you can compose something better than this piece. I'm sure you can. And then show them how the left hand is just a lot of fifths. You can teach them whether you want to call it perfect yet, you can teach them it's a fifth. And they can block it and see how they can move it around the piano in fifths. And then they can play it as written. So there's another place in the piece where you're stepping up in fifths, where the right hand is. And so if you can point out those intervals, that 5-finger pattern, that's going to, solidify some theory there for you and make it a little bit easier for them to learn the piece.
Those are really, really good tips. Talk to us about how you teach your students and work with them to develop the choreography of moving to different positions on the keyboard.
They're already doing it when they're doing hand over hand arpeggios. If you're teaching your students like you play that for a student and it sounds really complicated to them, and then you break it down into it's just a C chord, C chord, C chord, C chord. And if you show them you're just playing a C chord jumping up the piano, then suddenly it's pretty simple. And it's the same way with this piece. If you're playing, that's just the same 4 notes over and over. And you can just talk about hand placement. Can you put it here, here, here? If you can do that, then you can play the piece. You can jump around. So I think it's just showing them the pattern of it and how to move to that different position over and over. It will come quickly.
And like all of your pieces, this piece is so beautifully composed and just perfectly designed so that it falls wonderfully under the hands. It is easy, it's attractive, but it's also really fun sounding and it's alluring and it makes students want to play it. Thank you so much for being with us today. My guest has been Kristen Allred. Her piece is Prowling Panther from the new Federation Festivals list. It's in the book Jungle Beat. You can find it at a fine music retailer near you. Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.